Satnam, and welcome to today's Kriya. So this month we are continuing our journey on the heart, and we are working on the creative, the creative energy Kriya, which is really about accessing the energies of the lower centers and bringing them up to the higher centers of the heart. So in many ways, it's really capturing the creative energy of the lower centers and really giving you the opportunity to make choices and make decisions that really live from your highest virtues. So the set is quite complete. It's working through the entire body. There's some postures that might be a little bit more challenging than others. So again, as always, take care of yourself. I'll give you some pointers on how to navigate some of these postures. And the most important thing is to remember that pain is not gain. Pain is a wisdom of your body. Just find the way to really support yourself and move through it and really show up with your excellence. Really just kind of finding your starting point and then opening up from that place. So we're going to go ahead and get started by just tuning in. And really this is the first practice of the heart, because as long as we are in reaction to everything, we tend to be disconnected from ourselves and we tend to be more in that survival space. So this tuning in practice is about really just connecting, dropping into yourself, connecting with you, so that what arises can really be informed by that presence within you. So just inviting you to shift your attention inward to the breath. And then naturally that brings you inside of you. So really bringing attention to the body and how the body is landing here. Inviting you to feel the sit bones sitting into the earth to lengthen the spine, open the heart, relaxing the shoulders. Eyes are going to be closed, gently rolled up, focused inward at the brow point. And then we get to bring our mind to be present to the breath. And we use the mantra of Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. Sat means truth, Nam is name, so true identity, really calling forth the truth of who we are at our best, who we are in our highest possibility. Following the inhale with Sat, mentally vibrating, Nam on the exhale. And from this place, just rubbing palms together as you awaken the nervous system, awakening your presence to yourself, pressing palms into each other, thumbs into the sternum as you bring yourself into the heart. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to just tune in with Adi Mantra. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the inner wisdom. I bow to my wisdom, the wisdom that surrounds me. And we take a nice breath in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. And exhale, resting hands back down into Gyan Mudra, index and thumb tips together. Resting wrists on the knees, breathing long and deep. So there are some inverted poses in this Kriya. So we're just going to begin by warming up the body. Camel ride to open up the spine. Inhale forward, exhale back. So remember, it's all about the relationship between head and heart and using your rootedness, your connection to the floor below you. So we're really moving from the lower body, activating and engaging the movement through the navel. And the breath is simply following the movement because the breath emerges through the navel. So as I'm moving, I'm just kind of pushing the air in. I should say pushing air out, as in the navel is pressing back. And then as I'm opening the navel, air is just coming in. And if you feel really nice and loose, you can go a little bit more rhythmically, just a little bit faster if that feels right for you. Just make sure that you're keeping neck lock so that your chin is staying at a right angle to the body. As your clothes focused inward, just really being with the breath and the sound current within you. So we're building pranic energy here that can be available to us through our practice. Take a nice deep breath in. Suspend, contain, consolidate that pranic energy. And exhale, relaxing and just allowing the body to receive all of it. Fingers forward, thumbs back, drawing the shoulders down again, just really rooted to lengthen, chin at a right angle, inhaling left, exhaling right. Nice deep inhale at center. Contain it. Exhale, release, relax, and just notice. Just being witness to that experience. And we're going to do one more to open up the sciatic nerve, life longest nerve of the body. We're going to sit into our sit bones, extend forward rather than collapsing inward, keeping that heart open if you can, grasping toes, if not grasping ankles, keeping the chin at a right angle. We're going to inhale as we open our heart, exhale as we lengthen forward. And inhale up, suspending the breath, staying connected. Exhale as you walk it back slowly and staying within as you just witness. Shake the legs out, and we're going to come into our first movement for this Kriya. So we're going to start actually on our backs, and I just want to show you really quick the first two movements because they're both going to be on your backs. So it's going to be easier for you to see. So the first one is about working with the kidneys. And what we're going to do is I like to set my posture first. So what I mean by that is if it's possible, you're going to grasp your toes. Your legs are extended. That's the first and foremost. So even if you're grabbing from the shins, or I should say just like the ankles or wherever, that's fine. Just keep those legs extended. And what you want to do from here is you want to really just kind of make sure that your lower back is anchored into the floor and that you're really drawing the shoulders back so that you're really just kind of squared into the floor, and that's your rooting. And then you can just go and let go so that the right knee bends. And what we're going to do is we're going to be kicking our buttocks. So the power of the kick is the heel is coming into the buttocks. So my leg is actually lifting from the response of the kicking in. So the action is really in, and then it just kind of bounces off. So it's very important to do that because otherwise I have found that you can really kind of damage your knee. It hurts a lot. If you kind of like do just this, it really feels different. Anyways, we're going to do that on both sides for a while, and then we're going to take a break. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to come into shoulder stand. So we're going to roll ourselves up, and even if shoulder stand is this for you, just make sure that whatever you do, that you keep the weight of the body on the shoulders rather than the neck. So wherever your shoulder stand is today, you're lengthening by pressing down and lengthening through the toes. And then we're going to do the scissors. So we're just really allowing ourselves to move in this direction. And that's what we're going to do for a while. And then just slowly come out, come in, and relax. Okay? So go ahead and come onto your back. And we're going to just begin by setting the space again, rooting down through the lower back. And releasing that right leg so that it really comes in, and you're just going to be kicking your buttocks. So what this is doing is it's really working. It's my understanding that it works on the kidneys. It's releasing or balancing the water element in the body. And water has to do with creativity, has to do with flow. So we're just going to be kicking here. Breath is just natural. Eyes are closed, focus inward. And I have found that this is a really great tonic for sitting a long time. It just really opens up all of the energy channels of the legs. And don't worry if you can't touch your buttocks. It's okay. Like just imagine yourself touching the buttocks and really just keep the energy of the kick inward so that the heel is being driven into the buttocks. That's the intention. And relax. And we're going to shift sides. So we're going to just switch. And here we go. Begin on the other side. This might be very different. Just see what happens. Try to keep that other leg extended. Keeping the knee as straight as possible. And really drive that heel into the buttock. So this is working on opening up the lower centers of the body. And relax the both. And just take a moment here. Beautiful. We're going to move into shoulder stand. Once again, just finding your own way to do that. You're going to inhale as you rise, and again, even if you support your hips and you're not straight up, no worries. We're going to come where we are, and we're just going to inhale and exhale. So we're scissoring, and if you can't touch the floor behind you, no worries. Just keep that ankle as best as you can, so that you're really just intending and lengthening through the toes to support the body, to hold itself. And inhale straight up. Exhale as you bend the knees, supporting your lower back, one vertebra at a time. Slowly, and then bringing the chin in, stretch it out in the opposite direction. And just relax on your back. Knees bent or extended in Shavasana, just giving yourself permission to settle into the posture and relax here. And we're going to go ahead and hug knees in and bring the chin in to rock up and down, balancing the energies of the body. Coming all the way forward on your next breath. So we're going to work in the creative chamber of the body. We're opening up the legs as wide as you can comfortably go. And we're going to be just doing a movement here. So ideally, you're grasping the toes. And this is really important because when you're grasping your toes, it's very common to see this. We're really leading with the heart and we're extending, so we're really rooted into the floor. So even if you close your legs a little bit more, or, if that, just widen as high as you can go and then just grab from the ankles, that's a perfect place to be. Just keep the legs extended through the heels, rooted into the floor. And what we're going to do here is we are going to go left, right, center, left, right, center. And you're naturally going to exhale down because, again, you're breathing through the navel. You're leading from the heart as opposed to the head. It's very easy to want to lead from the head, but just remember you're moving and extending forward. And inhale up. Stay connected. Suspend the breath. Exhale as you slowly release. Bringing the legs together. Shake it out. And just take a moment here in easy pose to allow the body to integrate that experience. Beautiful. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move back on our backs and we're going to do plow poses. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to come on our backs, and ideally your arms are along the floor, palms facing down. You're rooted so that you're lifting the legs up, bringing them all the way behind you, and then bringing them back down. So we're moving from one position to the other. And we're doing this from the power of the navel, rooted into the floor to support the movement. Legs are extended so that the legs can support themselves. Now, if you don't have the strength in your navel center, you can really, you would be feeling it from your lower back. So if you need to, just support yourself a little bit more. Support your lower back and just keep moving as best as you can, even if you're just swinging and moving a little bit. So either way is just fine, because remember, this is where you're starting from. Grow from where you are, and excellence is all there is in the attitude. Everything else will come later. Okay, so here we go. And you would be ideally inhaling as you're swinging the legs over the head, exhaling as you're supporting the navel, as the legs come down so that you're really rooted into the floor. Mentally vibrating set on the inhale. Nam on the exhale. And if you find that the breath is different for you, that's quite all right, because this might look different for you. The breath is really supporting the movement, so just trust, listen to your body, support the movement as you need it. Most importantly, support your lower back.
just take a swing over. Inhale. Exhale as you slowly bend the knees. Bring your chin in, stretch it out. And once again, relaxing. You can either relax with the hugging the knees in, or you can extend the legs out, Shavasana, and just rest here. And we want to keep the energy moving, so take a nice breath in. Exhale, knees to the chest, bring the chin in and rock up and down, balancing the energies of the body. Coming all the way forward on your next breath. Now we're going to move into a sequence of inverted poses. So again, remember, everything is all about heart. That's the most important piece here. So we're going to begin by coming onto our stomachs. What we're going to do is we're going to bring our hands into fists with the thumbs inside, and we're going to place the fists right at the crease of the leg and the pubic bone. And we're going to ideally bring the chin on the floor, but you might find the forehead to be better. Just kind of check in with yourself. Your heels are absolutely together. Pressing down into the floor, that's going to lift the legs up. And we're just going to stay here breathing long and deep. Now, if you find this, again, depending on where you are, this might be a really, really powerful posture for you. And you might want to give up. And so what I want to do is I want to encourage you to stay present in the posture and just bring one leg down so that you can just keep the body engaged. And then do that for, stay here, commit to this, and then maybe raise both. And then stay there for a while. Really give yourself permission to develop yourself into it. And then switch sides. Because otherwise, if you do this kind of like switch, you're not really going to engage the body. You want to really just engage the body so that you're building the tension. You're building the power in your body. And then that's going to lead you to a new possibility. Stay focused into the brow point. And then aim to relax everything. Use the groundedness, the rootedness, to support the posture. And you're there. Inhale deep. Exhale as you slowly bring it down. And just take a moment here to rest. Right cheek on the mat, or bringing your hands to support the posture, however that needs to work for you. Beautiful. For the next two poses, we're going to be using a detox breath that's working through the mouth. So we're going to be breathing through the mouth, sticking our tongue out as far as it'll go. And what we're going to do here is the first posture is very similar to this one, except opposite. So your heels are going to stay together. Your arms are going to stay along the floor. And this time you're going to root so that you're lifting the upper torso. And everything else is really relaxed. And then you're going to extend through the head rather than collapse back, right? And then you're going to stick your tongue out and you're going to be breathing a powerful breath of fire. So it's looking like a panting dog. So focus inward, root to lift, extend the tongue out, and begin to pant. And really give yourself permission to extend the tongue. Really stretch the tongue out. Again, if you're feeling it in your neck, you're probably lifting your chin to collapse the head back. I want to invite you to think of lengthening up through the top of the head. And then everything else is really relaxed. You're just really rooted in the lower body. And continue with the breath. Keep the eyes closed, focus inward. You're doing great. Now, close your mouth, inhale deep. Exhale as you slowly come out of the posture. If you need to stretch up back, to stretch the lower back, just go ahead and stretch it out here, extending the arms, resting. Beautiful. Now the next posture, we're going to come into cobra. Same breath. We're going to modify cobra a little bit more than the traditional form. So ideally cobra, your heels are together, which I can't quite keep my heels together, but that's the ideal. Hands are under the shoulders. Fingers are spread so that you can really distribute the weight. So once again, I am not lifting through my arms. I'm pressing down through my navel, through my pelvis, and you want to keep the hips on the mat. You're going to really draw the shoulders down, slightly bend the elbows. This is the ideal posture, and if you need to modify, you can do modification by moving the arms a little bit forward. Extending the legs out will release the pressure from the lower back, or you can come onto your forearms. Either way, you still want to stay connected. You don't want to be hanging out here. You want to be actively engaged, lengthening up through the top of the head. So when you come to your perfect cobra, we're going to add a component here. We're going to bend the knees, and we're going to aim to, bring the head towards the toes, towards the feet as best as we can, without collapsing the head back. So you're lengthening up through the top of the head and just inviting the opening of the rib cage. Your eyes are closed, focused inward. You're going to stick your tongue out again, and we're going to breathe through the open mouth one more time. Ready? Eyes closed, focus inward, and really focusing on Satnam. Keep going, doing beautiful. Again, always think of lengthening.
think of really connecting through the lower body, rooting to extend. Let the posture support you. And once again, close the mouth, inhale deep. Exhale as you very slowly come out of the posture by slowly bending the elbows, slowly stretching the legs. And once again, stretch it back. It's always helpful to stretch in the opposite direction. Just give yourself a break, stretch it out here. And you can come into baby pose just by bringing the arms alongside the body or keeping the hands under the forehead. And just rest here, breathing long and deep. Beautiful. We're going to do a couple more inverted poses before we come out of the inverted poses. We're going to come back onto our stomachs and we're going to come into bow pose. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to bend the knees, and if you can, grasp either the upper foot or the ankle. This is the ideal. If that doesn't work for you, cross ankles, interlace fingers. What you're going to do, if you can grab your feet, you're going to press into the feet to lift the body up, extending up through the crown, extending, lengthening. This is your ideal posture for bow pose. If that doesn't work for you, just doing the anchoring, right? It's all about pressing down to lift. So from this pose, we're going to bring the left ear to the left shoulder. So the head stays facing forward, and we're just going to bring the left ear to the left shoulder. And we're going to breathe long and deep here. And now we're going to switch. We're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder, keeping the head facing forward so that you're not tilting. You're really just literally bringing the right ear to the right shoulder. Beautiful. Now you're going to stay and bring the head back into center, and we're going to begin to rock. And once again, the rocking is done from navel, from the connection of the floor, rather than your head. So it's very easy for people to want to be doing this with the head. You're just, even if the rock is small, it's okay. You're just going to be rocking, but rocking from your core.
You're almost there, doing beautiful. Stay with it. Now inhale up. Exhale as you slowly come out of the posture. And once again, either staying on your stomach, right cheek on the mat, or you're going to stretch back. Just take a moment to assess what you need. And if you haven't done so already, I'm going to invite you to stretch back. Again, stretch the lower back. Bringing the hands towards the knees to slowly roll up. You're doing great so far. So we're going to move a little bit into working with the legs. So we're going to be doing crow squats. And what we're going to do here is, ideally, you're going to start from crow. And that means that you are standing into the floor with your feet flat. You are interlacing fingers, extending through, keeping the chin in to really lengthen the spine. You're going to inhale as you press down to lift. Exhale as you bring it back down. Okay? So this is the ideal. Sometimes it's easier for people to start from standing. And I want to just give you a couple of pointers here because knees are very precious and we don't want to hurt our knees. So if you need to modify, what I want to invite you to do is actually, so usually your feet are about hip width apart and you're moving from this direction. If that's not going to work for you and you need to modify, what I invite you to do is open your feet a little bit more. And just remember your toes ideally are going to be pointed straight ahead. And then what you want to do is you want to just modify. I mean, even if it's here, it's great. The only thing you want to make sure is that your knees stay before the toes or right at the toes so that you're not hurting your knees. And then you're taking your buttock down to the floor as opposed to doing this, which is a very common thing to see. So we're really just bringing our lower center, our gravity center down and finding your maximum place so that you really want to challenge yourself. You want to invite yourself to grow and yet respectfully honor where you are, okay? So if you feel pain in your knees, you probably need to shift. Be gentle. You will not gain anything from forcing yourself through pain. You will actually work against yourself. Trust the process. Be gentle. Take care of you. And you will be, I promise, excellent at this. Okay? So wherever you are, we're going to interlace fingers. Keep the chin in. And you can either do your eyes open, eyes closed, whatever works best for you. Give yourself permission to see what you need. And we're going to inhale as we rise, exhale as we come down. What I like to offer is that it looks like I'm actually working at this, but what I'm really doing is pressing down through my feet to lift my body up. So it's kind of like I'm using gravity to support the movement so that I actually don't have to work so hard. Don't get me wrong, you're still going to feel it, yet it really does give you more. This concept of rooting is really your best friend in this practice. It's all about learning how to use the connection that you have with the floor to be able to be in service to what you're doing. Beautiful. And we're there. Take a nice breath in. And exhale. And just rest here. Great. We're going to do one more leg opener. So these are all about lower center energy, right? So this is all this Kriya is really helping us actually stabilize the hips, build a good solid foundation so that we can really move from the creative energies in service to something higher, because a lot of times we are kind of reacting to things, and so this is going to allow us to make choices that are in service to our highest virtue, as opposed to our kind of lower center appeasing things that have more to do with pleasure as opposed to benefit. So we're going to move into what's called frog pose. And we usually do these frog poses a little bit vigorously, but in this case, we're actually doing them very systematically, very slow and steady. So frog pose, ideally, your heels are together. Your heels stay up through the entire movement. Your hands are between the knees. On the fingertips is what I do, but I have seen people with their hands. And then what you want to do is you want to keep your heels up, hips rise, head comes down on the inhale. Exhale as you bring it back down to the starting point. So very commonly, you will see people forgetting to lift the head. You want to think of opposite, right? So again, inhale and exhale. And if you need to modify, you need to open your legs a little bit more, either for the previous pose or for this one, sometimes it helps to have a rolled mat or something that you can just bring your heels onto that helps stabilize. So just see where you need to be for yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to just begin, and we're going to inhale up, exhale down. Mentally vibrating Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. And inhale up. Exhale as you slowly bring the heels down, bend the knees, and gently roll up. And once again, just come to standing, close your eyes. Just be present with that experience. Great. So we're going to go ahead and come back down. Oh no, there is one more that I forgot. So what we're going to do here, this is actually a really funny one. So your feet ideally are about hip width apart. You're rooted through your feet, extending up through the hips and lengthening out through the top of the head. Your arms are going to be hanging here, and you're going to love this one, but we're going to begin to scream as loud as we can. Don't worry, if anybody is around you, you'll just give them a good laugh. So close your eyes and just begin. I'm not going to scream too hard because the microphone picks it up really loud, but like really this is about letting it all out. So one thing to say before is if you're feeling it in your lower back, again, check yourself. You really want to press through the feet, lengthen up rather than bend where your lower back is actually going to hurt. So if you're finding yourself doing this, you're actually not grounded. You're not rooted. So rooting has to do with pressing and extending. And then that will stabilize your lower back so that you can then extend and be in this posture and steadily begin to scream. Inhale. Exhale as you bend the knees and slowly rise up. And just feel. And shake it out. Great. Now we're going to come into rock pose. So if this works for you, sitting onto the heels. If not, you can just come into easy pose, sitting cross-legged. If you can, and this feels kind of uncomfortable, what you can do is just bring a blanket or a pillow underneath, and that will automatically feel so much better. So what we're going to do is we're going to open our knees a little bit to stabilize ourselves. We're going to bring fingers forward, thumbs back, and we're just going to do inhale left, exhale right. So we're going to do spinal twists. Ready? And here we go. Close the eyes, focus inward, keep the chin in. Move from your core. So the action is coming from the navel, but you're rooted, extended, heart is open.
Inhale, deep center. Contain the posture. Suspend the breath. Exhale, relax, rest, and just be present with that experience, just noticing how the body receives it. Now we're going to be staying in rock pose for a while, so at any point feel free in between the exercises to shake your legs out and move around if you need to, or just to switch into easy pose if that's going to work best for you. So the next one is about opening up the seventh rib, which is the cradle of creativity in your body. And what we're going to do here is we're going to bring the thumbs into the armpits with the fingers across the chest so that we can really open up this area, and we're basically hitting the elbows into that seventh rib. Okay, that's all we're going to be doing. So the action is down, and then the up just is a response to the down. So you're not having to work at lifting. Your focus is to bring it in powerfully, and then that just automatically will lift. And don't worry, the breath will actually fall into place on this because you can't help but exhale as you hit. Ready? Close the eyes, bring the hands under the armpits, fingers across the chest, arms are up, and begin. And bring it down. Inhale deep. Exhale. Just take a moment here. Just resting into that experience as you simply allow yourself to breathe. We're going to move into yoga mudra. So what we're going to do here is we're going to interlace fingers and then just bring the forehead to the floor. And we're going to lift the arms up as high as they will go. We're going to stay here breathing long and deep. So keep the action going. Really keep the arms extended. Even if you're not straight up, no worries. Just really keep that action. And then relax the shoulders. Really, it's just about lengthening upward and then letting everything else rest. Focus deep at the brow point. Focus on the breath. Inhaling sat, exhaling nam.
Inhale deep. Press a little bit farther if possible. Exhale as you relax. Rest. Let the hands fall to the sides as you relax here in baby pose. And take your next breath to bring hands towards the knees. Press down to lift the body up one vertebra at a time, with the head being the last thing to rise up. And what we're going to do here, we're going to just stay in rock pose ideally. We're going to just do a little bit of resistance. So our arms are up, the palms are facing down, and the right palm is over the left. And what you're going to do here is you're going to press down with the right, press up with the left. So you're really building resistance here, and you want to keep the resistance going. So it's at the heart level and you're really pressing. So a couple of things about posture here. Again, you're rooted through the sit bones. You're lengthening up through the top of the head. Your chin is at a right angle. Your eyes are going to be closed. Focus inward. And you really want to just let the stability of the posture take care of itself. So close the eyes. Focus inward. And breathe long and deep as you keep the steady pressure. Right palm pressing into the left as the left presses into the right, resisting, activating. Focusing on Satnam as you breathe. Doing beautiful. Stay with it. Keep the pressure. Inhale deep. Suspend and press deeper. Exhale and relax here. If you need to move the arms a little and the neck circling, and just rest in non-action, just witnessing. Beautiful. So for the next one, I'm going to stay here just to show you. So the posture is still the same. Your chin is at a right angle. What we're going to do here is we're going to imagine that we're reaching and grabbing and bringing something to the heart. Reaching, grabbing, bringing something into the heart. So you're kind of doing alternate, and you're really keeping your body straight so that you're reaching and you're creating this kind of torque in your midsection. But it's really just coming from the power of the reach. So you're really, you want to extend the fingers, grab, pull. Extend the fingers, grab, pull.
And you're really just kind of doing this in a very consistent and continuous and vigorous way. Okay? And again, what I want you to keep in mind is that your head stays facing forward. Okay? So you're really grasping and your head is staying forward and you're really just kind of inviting this torque from the center. Okay, close the eyes, focus inward, and begin. Again, imagine that you're drawing energy into your heart. Pull powerfully. So this is also opening up the shoulders. And sometimes we do this with the palms facing to the side, but on this one you're doing the palms facing down. Make sure you keep that chin at a right angle. The shoulders are really relaxed here. And now pull both back. Exhale. Relax here. Noticing how the body receives that. Now slowly coming out of rock pose. Extend the legs out, shake them out. We're going to come into easy pose. I know this is a long Kriya, but it's a great Kriya. So we're going to come into, and we're going to work with clapping. And clapping actually regulates the brain. So we're going to do clapping in different forms. So we're going to begin with the arms are straight through the entire, well, not through the entire one, I guess. But I'm going to show you. There's 4 postures. And for everything you do, you're in the posture of rooted, lengthened, chin at a right angle. Shoulders relaxed, okay? So you're going to come forward, and you really want to clap, okay? Because remember, you're working on the brain. So you're bringing your hands and clapping in front. Then you're opening out to the side, bending at the wrist, okay? This is 2. Then you are going to go back behind. So you're bending elbows to clap behind. I guess I'll show you that way. And then you're going to bring it behind again. Okay? So we're doing forward, back, up in the back, up behind, and down behind. Forward, back, up, down. Forward, back, up, down. And just one note here that I want to say is when you're doing this, it's very easy to want to do this so that you can do that. But you want to just stay so you're rooted and you're opening this way. Do the best you can. Again, just it's all about you opening, and that's the invitation, and just letting the rootedness guide you through where does this go for me, okay? Keep the arms extended and close the eyes. Forward, out, up, down. Forward, out, up, down, forward, out, up, down. Keep going. And inhale forward. Exhale. And again, just shake the shoulders, roll the shoulders forward and back, and just come to a place of witness. Just noticing how the body receives that experience. So we're going to move into body drops, and body drops are, again, a very effective way to open up the energy centers of the lower body. It's a very first chakra opener, very grounded. So if it is possible for you, you're invited to come into full lotus. So you're bringing your feet in and you're just keeping yourself steady this way. You can also stay in easy pose, okay? Either way, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your hands into fists and you're going to press down into the floor to lift the body up and just let it drop gently. So ideally, your whole body is lifted up off the floor. And you're just letting yourself drop a little. Again, you want to be gentle with this. You don't want to be like extreme about it. Just letting yourself drop. Keep the chin at a right angle and just allow yourself to just be connected with the breath. Again, the breath in many ways is a response to the postures that we're doing. And just relax here. Exhale. Come out of the posture if you're in full. You can just stretch the legs out if you need to. And we're just about at the end of our Kriya. So we're going to work with just a couple of poses So once again, ideally, if at all possible, you're going to sit on your right heel, right between. You're going to extend the left leg. You want to keep yourself really rooted, and you want to keep the hands alongside the body. And what we're going to do here is we're going to lift the leg up. It says 60 degrees, but I can't do it 60 degrees. But the key here is that you want to ground and lift. It doesn't matter where you go with it. Just stay steady. Do the best you can. I find it really, it's inviting you to grow. The thing that you don't want is to slump and try to lift that way. You want to stay steady. You want to ground and root and then lift and be in this action. So the way that has to happen is you have to be grounded. Now, this posture is not for everyone. So what you want to do, I would invite you to just bend the knee if that's going to work best for you and anchor yourself this way. Again, without slumping back, right? The key here is about grounding and rooting through the sit bones. So no matter where you are, just really activating that and just breathing long and deep here, okay? We're gonna go through this together. So just stay steady, do the best you can, keep the chin at a right angle and eyes closed, focus inward, breathing long and deep. Ideally stretching through the toe. What I find is that when I'm holding these postures, sometimes it really activates a little bit of, what is it called? Cramping. So if that's happening for you, just release and come out of it and then come right back in and just keep doing that. It will move all that tension out of the body, because that's what these postures do. They really just do such a great job of kicking out the tension from the body. Breathe long and deep. Now inhale deep and exhale and slowly come out of the posture. I'm holding a lot of tension in my left leg today, so it'll be interesting to see how the right leg is today. So we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Sitting into the heel, and you can also bring a blanket underneath if you're halfway there and it's just uncomfortable. You can try that, but otherwise do the modification. Okay, ready? And rooting, lift, breathing long and deep. Engage your core to stay rooted and connected to the earth below you. You might start having a lot of vibration in your body, and that's just perfect. Keep going. Let it work itself. This is a major electromagnetic field adjustment. Inhale deep. And exhale as you slowly come out of the posture. Sorry about that, my dehumidifier just kicked off. And I don't want to stop the recording because I can't pause, so hang in there. I'm going to run and turn it off actually. So Okay. So that gave you a little rest. Now we're going to move into victory pose. So victory pose, similar to what we just did, but with both legs up. And, you know, there's victory pose, like we do it in other Kriyas, more stable like this. But this Kriya really asks of you to stay seated and rooted and just lift the legs up as high as you can go. It's kind of a little bit more challenging. So rooted into the sit bones, lifting up through the legs, and just breathing long and deep here. Ready? So as best as you can, rooted into the sit bones, breathing long and deep. Keep the chin at a right angle. You're almost there, doing beautiful. Stay with it. Inhale deep. Exhale, we did it. Congratulations. That's why they're called victory poses. And you're there. Last movement of the day. We're going to bring ourselves back into easy pose, and we're just going to be doing sufi grinds. So opening up that lower back. And we're going to start to the left, working with the liver. And just the breath will come naturally. Make sure you keep the chin at a right angle. Moving from your core. Breath will fall naturally into place. And we're going to reverse. Other direction. Inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam. And take a nice deep inhale at center. And exhale, resting in the attention of that experience, opening to that. Whatever, and that witnessing of how your body responds to the experience, the breath, the movement. And really celebrating yourself. You've done it. So let's come onto our backs for a nice, well-deserved relaxation as you hug the knees into the chest. I'm just inviting you to stretch and rock, maybe on the spine a little. Maybe even do a cat stretch just to get yourself ready for your relaxation. And just come into a total surrender. Just inviting yourself to know that this is the place where everything happens for you. And the only thing to do now is just to rest, relax, and receive. Inviting you to bring your attention to the breath. As you invite every exhale to be deeper and longer. Seeing and exploring your connection to the earth below you. As you release the tension in the toes, feet, and ankles. Inviting you to move your exhale down into the shins, releasing any and all tension and holding patterns in the knees, softening the hamstrings and thighs, relaxing the hip and pelvic area as you let go. Releasing and softening the torso, feeling your lower back and upper back, connecting more deeply to the earth below you. Softening the shoulders, releasing the arms, letting go of the tension in the fingers and hands. Releasing the neck, inviting the head to soften. As you release the tension in the skull, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the lips, the jaw. Giving yourself permission to let go, relax, and completely receive through the breath. Relaxing, relaxing, and letting go. And please take a nice deep breath in. Suspending the breath as we gently bring the awareness back into the body, and exhale. Eyes are still closed as you wiggle fingers and toes. And then rotating wrists and ankles in one direction and then in the other. Taking your next breath to inhale, stretch deep. Exhale. Eyes are still closed, rubbing palms over the heart, soles of the feet up in the air, just getting yourself more fully into your body. We bring the feet to the earth as we palm the eyes, preparing the eyes for the light. Opening eyes inside of the palms, and slowly with the two palms still together, releasing palms from the eyes. Extending the arms up to the side, legs extended for a cat stretch as you bring the right knee in over to the left, breathing long and deep. Reversing on your next breath. Hugging both knees in, stretch it out, rock side to side. Bringing the chin to the chest as you rock up and down. Coming all the way forward on your next breath. You have done a great job. Celebrate you for what you've done. Let's just come into a space of gratitude. Gratitude to you, to your experience, for making this space for you. Rubbing palms together as we center back into the heart. And we just end with a long Satnam. Inhale. Satnam. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Satnam. Thank you for being with me today, and enjoy this Kriya. Take care.